public dedication, that this would dedicate the completed improvements to the city, and that would be, the completed improvements would only be the lift station and the forcemeat. So the collection system remains owned by and the responsibility of Van Meverens and Jake. Easements, that this better defines where that easement would be. It'd be a 15-foot wide easement that'd be on the west and the south boundaries of Camp Van Meverens. So that's that gets us to where we need to be to access that manhole. And really the rest of it, the amendments, binding effect, the governing law, severability clause, those are all the same language that had been used in previous drafts of the agreement also. So that's what Van Meverens had proposed for their proposal for the agreement. I'd also like to talk through this one that I have handwritten on their changes from the previous version. So when you talk about the changes from these previous versions, the big change then is the city doesn't finance, Camp Van Meverens doesn't annex. And then there's a lot of implications to the agreement that come out of that. So anything circled or underlined would be a change, something that I'd like to discuss. Nothing on the first page really is any substantive change, but on the second page, we had defined the property and defined that as, again, operating a seasonal campground, whereas within the Van Meverens agreement, that's undefined as far as the use. Down to the bottom of the page, this is talking about inspection, again, where it said that the owner would allow and obtain inspection by the city and the owner's engineer, and now it says that the engineer would be responsible for inspection.
Can I add something to that? We don't care to come out and look at it. We're not trying to tell you you can't come out and look at it. It's just that it's not yours until it's completed. But if you want to look at it, the same thing with the bonding of it. You know, if you want to, I don't know why it has to be bonded, because it's not yours until we sign it over to you. Isn't that right, Aaron?
What's that?
It's not the city's till we have it all completed and sign it over to the city.
Yeah, but there's no protection for the city during that warranty period, which is for 2 years.
Well, if you want a mortgage on it, take one. I could care less. It's going to be put in the way it's supposed to be, so there's no. It's warranted. It's warranted. I mean, yeah, you don't have any protection on it. If you want to.
That's the purpose of the bond.
If you want it bonded for what?
Going through.
Well, how much you want it bonded for?
I don't know.
Amount of the project would be around $75,000.
Whatever the cost of the project is, less what we paid down on it.
Normal bond is cost of the project.
But once we start paying down on it, the bonding should go down, right?
Well,
You want
that's
a
2
bond
years.
on it. I don't have a problem with it. I don't.
Again, I guess I hadn't heard of that because the bond period is only 2 years. But
So it would be bonded for 2 years.
Yeah.
I don't see a problem with it. I don't understand it, but I don't. If the engineers okays it, DNR okays it, it must be all right. But if
well, and then it becomes the matter of installation. This is just a bond on the installation and assuring that the installation is done properly for workmanship. You know, that's
well, I'm sure whoever we have to do it's going to be bonded, but that's beside the point. I guess you're telling me you want a mortgage on something. Well, there's not a dime over any property out there. You want a mortgage on it, have at it.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with it. Am I going to tie that property up for 5, 6, 10 years? No.
No, we would only need a lien for 2 years.
2 years. I don't know. I can't speak for Jake. I don't think.
Is there a relationship between the 2 years after connection and the public dedication? Are those two tied? Are connection and public dedication at the same time? Does that that means the same thing.
Essentially at the
just
same
went
time.
up.
The public dedication is a formal action that comes to the council. The council accepts the improvements. And then 2 years starts from that date of acceptance. Would be how normal project would work.
Well, I had talked to Mike before, and he said that there wasn't currently a lien on the campground area. And so we talked about, getting a first lien on that property, rather than being a second lien holder on any other property.
Is that gonna be a big holdup? If it's a big holdup, you wanna lien on some other property, I'll give you a lien on the house if you want it.
No, I don't think that's...
I mean, if it's a big problem, we're not gonna put this thing in so it falls apart. I'm not concerned about it.
No. Right. I just want you to know that I talked to Mike about the campground. He said that was the property that did not have a lien against it. And I said, great, then let's have a first lien on property that doesn't already have a lien. So,
Okay. Lien on property, yeah, I guess if you wanna call it Dad's got a lien on it, I guess you can say Dad's got a lien on it. On the campground, no.
right. Well, if you're first, we don't want to be second.
Did I just tell you, we don't have a lien on the campground?
Right.
The campground is clear.
That's right. So that's why I talked to Mike about that.
No, he didn't have a problem with it, did he?
No,
No, there's no problem. I don't see a problem with it.
but it's not in here, so what we're saying is we want it in here.
Well, put it in there. I don't have a problem with it.
He's just pointing out the differences,
Okay.
okay?
Taking a look at those dates, again, those dates are some minor changes going from months to seasons, but the effect really is the same. The cost of construction and installation, a couple items I've underlined there. Again, electric service to the lift station panel. Just to clarify that about the installation of the electric goes to the lift station panel. And where it previously had said directional bore under Blackhawk Road. And now the proposal would say from the northwest corner of the Van Meveren property to hook into the manhole. Okay, the connection fee section, again, it's largely the same. I underlined that where it said including the barn. That's one change because under Van Meveren's proposal, everything all the property that's included in that attachment A, which this would be, would have the connection fee waived. Okay, in the end result, from even our first city draft, it didn't come into play, assuming Mike was going to tear down his house, which what he told me, if he moves into the barn, he could tear down the house. So there's just only one connection there anyway. Okay, and then some sections that are really just taken out of the agreement. Financing and first lien, that section had been dropped. Issues dealing with voluntary annexation that have been dropped, although the public dedication is the same. Zoning, any issues of zoning would be dropped. Next page where it talks about easements. This defines that 15-foot utility easement. Previously it talked about an access easement, and that's just to assure we can get to our easement point, or if we can have access across your property.
Yeah, I think I read in there before, in the one that you had before, that it says easement across the entire property owned by something. And if it's not in there, that's fine.
Okay.
I don't think we knew, so I just typed in wherever needed.
Which means the whole area, right?
No, it's just
Yeah,
wherever
it
it's
did.
needed.
If you say you needed it across our front yard, you want it across our front yard.
Well, I think the problem...
So now all it is it's defined. It's
Right.
wherever you guys have, if you got a pump lift there, you got 15 feet to get to it. And it shouldn't be a problem.